Can we go right back to the beginning? You've talked about this before, but perhaps not on RTE that often. You actually formed the band, right? And you pinned the notice on the school notice board. Do you remember what you were doing that day, what you were looking for? Had you any idea what you were getting yourself into?
No idea. All I knew was I'd spent all my pocket money on drum kits, and suddenly you get to the stage after playing your bedroom for 6 months, so you wonder where to go, you know. So just thought it'd be a good idea maybe if I just stuck a notice up just on the off chance that somebody might be interested in somebody with an accordion might come along and be able to do some traditional Irish music or something like that, you know.
Can you remember the wording of the notice that you put up? Can you remember what exactly you were looking for?
No,
Help,
it was
I think
something like that, yeah.
Help.
But certainly I know nothing really. I didn't think about it. I just sort of said, well, maybe somebody would be interested. I didn't think I would be interested in forming a rock band. I mean, if somebody with an accordion had come along, I would have played with them, you know. That was where I was at. I was that desperate to play with somebody.
So we had the Kilfenora Cayley band touring.
Yeah, I mean,
that
would have done the job. You know?
It was when he found out it was going to be a punk rock band that the confusion began, actually.
Indeed.
Coming from the Artane Boys band and being told to get his hair cut, I think, was a bit much.
Did you know the other guys, Larry, when you pinned that up at the time?
No, I'd heard of this fella called Paul Hewson. Like, he was fairly notorious.
That's that
if I remember correctly.
Mildly.
And then there was Adam, because Adam was a new boy in town, and he used to wear this fantastic Afghan coat. That's how I knew Adam.
He had to get his coat cut before he could join.
But no, I didn't know the guys at all.
What about the Edge? You didn't know him?
No, knew none of them.
You were mildly notorious. Why? How?
I've no idea. I mean, but I mean, I was a bigger boy, wasn't I? I mean, I was 16 and he was only 14, so I mean, any 16-year-old's notorious to a 14-year-old.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
What were the early days like? I mean, can you remember the first
the
rehearsal and stuff like that?
Oh,
It's like that Monty Python routine, you know.
Well, if we were lucky now.
Yeah, try telling that to the
I can remember scutting home and stuff like that, you know, in the back of lorries from Mount Temple. But, you know, for us, I think for you too, I think it should be said that there are a lot of people in this city a lot worse off than we were. Okay, you know, we never got anything given to us on the plate, anything. But there's a lot of people far worse off than we were. So I think it would be wrong for me, for Larry to talk about the old days in any sense of we overcome all these obstacles. There were a lot of obstacles to overcome, but there are other bands out there that are, you know, fighting for the price of strings.
Sure.
Not just the price of guitars, which is what we were fighting for. In fact, Adam, being a posse from Malahide, he had an amplifier, and we all plugged into his amplifier, and yeah, we used to, you know, we got great value out of it. But as I say, I think we were very lucky in some ways.
Larry, had you any idea early on when the band started playing together and rehearsing, had you an idea of the U2 sound that we now know?
No.
Was that what actually were you doing then? What did you think the music would be
Just
like?
totally directionless. I mean, it's the old cliche, we were going nowhere, and we started to go nowhere together. That was basically it. We never ever sat down and thought about, well, this would be a great sound. I mean, we were basically influenced by things like seeing the Pistols or Clash or even the Jam on Top of the Pops, just saying, wow, this is something new. So we would just come out of like the whole hippy dippy thing into the new wave as such. So like we were fairly directionless, you know. In fact, we're still fairly directionless.
How did that? I mean, you were talking about obstacles in your path. I mean, one of the obstacles was playing ability, technique, all that sort of stuff. You really had to learn all about that, didn't you, within the group? And
we still haven't learned it. We still haven't learned it, and in so many ways, this group is just beginning. We're really just beginning. Things that I'm sure a lot of groups would find so easy, we find so difficult.
Such as what?
Playing in time. You know, me learning the words, stuff like that. Me even wanting to write the words. I mean, we tend to go about things I think from musicians that I've met since, I think we go about things a lot differently. We tend to just all start up, everyone just plugs in and we just start playing. And then we play for about a half an hour, and sometimes people are playing different songs. But then at the end of the half an hour, we play back the tape, and we listen to the tape, and somebody says, Edge, that was really good. And Edge goes, yeah, I think that was pretty good. And in fact, what you did there was pretty good. And we just literally with
together.
needle and thread sew it together, and it becomes